2011 is going to be a very exciting year in technology. It's going to be known as the year of the tablets. Whether you're a fan of Android, iOS, BlackBerry, WebOS, they're all going to be coming out with great tablets, even Windows 7 based tablets. Some of the specs on some of these tablets are going to be dual core processors and just tons of memory, tons of RAM, tons of storage. But rather than hashing out all these tablets that are going to be coming out, let's talk about one of the tablets that is already out. It's the Huawei S7. It's a 7-inch tablet with a Snapdragon processor running at about 800 megahertz, 800 by 480 resolution, and a resistive touch screen. It's actually a pretty nice device, but we'll let you be the judge for that as we kind of run it through its paces here. First, let's look at the hardware of the device. Again, it's got a pretty nice screen. Over on the side, you have the standard Android home menu and back buttons. On the right, you have a select and a little trackball button, and a call and hang up button because you actually can use this for voice calls, which is pretty nice. The screen is glossy, but it's nice. It's got a front-facing camera as well as a rear-facing camera, and this panel on the back is a replaceable battery under there. Because it's resistive, it does have a stylus that you can use if you don't use your finger. We're not a fan of stylus. It's got a dock for accessories and a micro SD slot. We're not sure what the accessories are yet, but it's available for when they come out later, hopefully this year. There's a micro SD as well as a power jack. It does not power off the micro SD. You have to plug it into the power jack to get the power. There's a speaker on both sides, on the right and the left hand side, as well as the volume rockers and a headphone jack up at the top, standard 3.5 millimeter, and the power sleep button. So we're not normally fans of resistive touchscreens, but this one's pretty good. So let's give it a little demo of how it works. Swiping between screens works pretty nicely. You have to put more pressure than a capacitive touch, obviously, but it's pretty responsive, and it's not very laggy. It's got a nice spring when switching between the screens. What we like a lot about this tablet is up at the top, the way they did the notifications. There's a built-in task manager up in the notification bar, and if you just tap on that, it opens up a little menu of everything that's running. So you can switch between your tasks. There's your notifications over on the left-hand side. On the right is all your tasks. And if you want to scroll through them, you can see everything that's running. And just hit on the next if you want to delete it. So it's easy. Pretty nice. If you want to switch to it, you tap on the item, and it takes you right into the running application. So it's nice having a built-in task manager without having to download one. Down at the bottom, you have different categories for web, entertainment, communications, favorites, or your regular app drawer. This is the standard Android 2.1 app drawer. Shows all your apps, and scrolling through here is pretty easy as well. Let's go ahead and go back and go to the web button. And it's just a place to organize all your different widgets and applications for different categories. It's kind of nice. Honestly, in our testing, we didn't use it all that much, but it's a nice thing to have. So the next thing I'm going to do is launch the browser. So if we go over into the web area and launch the browser up, it's a typical WebKit browser. You can use it in landscape or portrait. It switches over pretty quickly, and then back to landscape again. I won't go into it too much. It's pretty standard, about the same speed as most other devices. What I am going to show you is a game, and of course it's going to be Angry Birds, the token Angry Birds demo. So I'm going to go and start this up, and when the game starts, I'm going to turn down the audio on the narration so you can hear the game audio. One thing about the volume on this tablet is it's really loud even when you don't have it very high. So I'm going to turn it way down for this demo, just so you can kind of get a feel for how games are and how they sound on the device.
Okay, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Angry Birds, but you get the idea. It works really well.
So that was good, but believe it or not, there are more games than this. So, assuming I can find it in my list here, I'm going to go ahead and launch up the Sims 3 for you, so you can get an idea. This is one game that doesn't work correctly on the Galaxy tab, but actually does work on this one. There's an issue with the rendering on the Galaxy tab, and it does down. So there we have a crash. So this is going to be a good time to go into the task manager and start killing off some tasks. Because probably just ran out of memory there. So the way that icon's shaking, if there's a built-in application that's running as a widget, it won't let you close it. So you'll get that little shake when you try to close it down. But everything else we should be able to kill off here. Let's go through and kill the rest of the apps, and then we'll go back and try to run the game again. So we'll go back into the application list, launch up Sims 3, and it should launch fine this time. Let's see what happens here. Looks like it's launching okay. And in a few seconds, after this loading, we'll be able to play the game a little bit. It actually looks really, really good on this screen. The screen's resistant touch, but it's the display on it is very nice. So very clear. I'm not sure if this video is doing it justice, but it's a clear display, and it's nice to play games and read books on and stuff. So as you can see, the game is working fine. It's very responsive. The resistive screen isn't too bad within the game. A little more pressure than you would on a capacitive touch, but not bad. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Go back to the main menu. Back into the application drawer. Let's see what else we got in here. Any other goodies I can show you. The camera. I'll give you a little demo of that. It's you know, your typical Android 2.1 camera. Your typical options, white balance, color, you know, all the stuff you've seen before. And you can see the screen kind of flex a little bit. That's a byproduct of the resistive touch screen. So it has quite a bit of play in it. So there I am. There's the video using the front-facing camera. The front-facing camera, I haven't been able to find any video chat programs that work with it. Only the built-in video recording with the within the camera application. Hitting the call button brings you into the dialer, and assuming you have a SIM in there, you can make calls. I don't have a SIM in this device right now; it's only Wi-Fi. One thing I do like a lot about this tablet is the way they did their notifications. Like when you tap on the battery, it shows you, has a little drop down of what the capacity is. And Bluetooth is off right now, otherwise it would show something. Wi-Fi gives you the option to toggle on and off. Brightness, you can change the brightness right from there. And you know, again, the battery shows you the capacity. That's just real handy. I mean, you can get to that from any of the applications, so that's throughout the system. This little feature, I kind of wish more devices did that. You know what, as I'm going through this, I realized that one thing I forgot to do is show you a bit more of the web. When I went into the web before, I just kind of opened it up and went to landscape or portrait. So let's go into the web tab and launch the web browser and give a little bit more demo of how it works. So launching the browser, you know, typically, you know, your typical thing, you tap on where you want to type and the keyboard pops up. It's actually a pretty nice keyboard on here. It's responsive despite the resistive screen. And we're going to learnfilms.com, which is our previous site. LearnFilms became Tons of Tech. So this was shot before we did that switch. And as you can see on Wi-Fi, it loads up really quickly. You know, it renders pretty well. It renders all the little frames for our videos and everything. The pages and the text on the side and all the forms show up correctly. Let's go back into settings and let's check out what it looks like in Dolphin HD is another alternate browser. That was the default one we were just in. So let's go out to Learn Films again. And we got a little typing issue, so we'll go in and edit that URL. And let's try that again, learnfilms.com. Again, that recently became Tons of Tech, but if you go to Learn Films, it'll redirect you, so it's no big deal. So we'll see how long that takes to load up. And here we go. And again, it's loading pretty well. A lot of people swear by Dolphin. I like it. It's a little bit faster than the stock one. I'm not sure how much. To be honest, the page was probably cached when I showed you the stock browser, but you can see in here it renders just as well as the stock browser. And the scrolling speed is pretty decent, pretty fluid. Well, I guess that's it. This video's gone on long enough, and hopefully you have an idea of the basic functionality of this tablet. I would definitely recommend that you go and try it out. Don't dismiss it because of the resistive screen. You may not mind it at all. And definitely don't dismiss it because of the more powerful tablets that are going to be coming out. Those are going to be more powerful, but they're also going to be a lot more expensive. So just try it out and see what you like. Again, this has been Steve Housen with tonsofTech.com, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.